Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video I'm going to continue going over the April Bible codes and just go over the things that I haven't covered yet on these tables. And I'm going to go over these two. I'm going to call this one, I'm going to call the April wheat field table, and this is the one that I've already talked about a little bit. And then this other one I'm going to call it the April meteor table, and this one I haven't really gone over yet. But what I want to say is that I'm not trying to make any predictions for April. No one knows the day or the hour of the rapture. I'm just showing you what comes up in the table. And in this one right here, it actually has a word warn going through the word April. So I don't know if it's just a warning or if something might happen in April. I'm not really sure, but these tables are really fascinating and I'm just sharing what comes up. But as far as the dates, you may want to take a look at this video that I've done called April Bible Codes Important Calendar Information. And in that one I explain why this entire season is very important in terms of being a high watch season. So you may want to watch that video if you haven't seen it. And I'm going to go ahead and start with this one in the first matrix that I'm going to go over. And this one reads at the top, April, Pentecost, wheat, field, ripe, Lord, reap, soon. And I just want to say, as far as dividing the word up like this into two parts, for that reason I'm not really sure if this is a legitimate ELS term or not. Pente is actually the word in the Greek for 5, so this could be making a reference to 5, but I'm not sure if it's definitely talking about Pentecost or not. But wheat field does come up, so it does seem to have something to do with the wheat harvest. So I'm just going to go over the terms, and over here in the pink is where you have the word Pente, the letters P-E-N-T-E. In this bluish purple you have the word wheat, and it's going through Pente, which is interesting. So you have the letters W-H-E-A-T. And then over here in the light red is where you have the word April, the letters A, P, R, I, L. In the yellow you have the word Lord, and in the green you have the word reap, the letters R, E, A, P, and you have field over here in the blue, and in the light green you have the word ripe, and then in this fuchsia color you have the word soon, the letters S, O, O-N. And in this matrix, it's the one that I've talked about before that started in Isaiah 6:11. In the other matrix that I've shown, and this one goes to 7:8, so it actually shifted down a little bit, a verse or two. So this one has an extra verse down here at the bottom that the other one didn't have, and I'll just read that one verse. It says, for the head of Syria is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is Rezin, and within 65 years shall Ephraim be broken in pieces, so it shall not be a people. And I thought that was interesting right here at the bottom, because it seemed to be like a prophecy, which I'm not sure if that's been fulfilled yet or not. But I had remembered people talking about that probably a couple of years ago when it was 65 years from when Israel became a nation, and a lot of people thought something would happen to Damascus or there would be some type of fulfillment of prophecy. And when I tried to research that. I didn't really find anything on it, but what I realized is that this entire chapter in Isaiah 7 is the chapter where it mentions the birth of Christ in the Old Testament. It's actually in Isaiah 7:14. I'll go ahead and pull that up. And in verse 14, it says, "Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel." Okay, so this is the prophecy of the Lord's birth. It actually comes a few verses down from what's showing up in this matrix. So if this matrix was a little bit larger, it would be talking about the birth of Christ within this matrix. And that's also important when you consider some of the other terms that I tried to pull up. Well, I'll just go over this one next, since that's next in line. And in this one, I just added the term tare, as in the wheat and the tares. And that came up over here in the, let's see, right here in the blue. T-A-R-E. And then the next one, I tried to look for, I pulled up, I had put in wise and oil, but the number 5 did not come up, or the word 5 did not come up, and the word virgin did not come up. So I was trying different things, and that's before I realized that this was right next to that prophecy. So the word virgin would be in the matrix if the matrix was a little bit larger, but it would be in the singular. And the number 5 would be in the matrix because you can see the number 5 right here. But over here where you have oil, it's right at the top. We have wise and oil, it's right at the top. So because it only allows a certain number of verses, it doesn't show what else would be a little bit further down. So the 5 would have been further down. But pente also means 5. So it could be referring to, you know, that could be interpreted that way. I'm not sure if it's the correct interpretation to say that the word pente has to do with the 5 wise, but it does mean 5 in the Greek. But in any case, I try to find, or try to pull it up a different way. So I put in half of 10, since I couldn't find 5 initially. And it's interesting how that came up, because, well, you see 10 over here in the fuchsia, the letters T-E-N, and then wise is over here in the light green, the letters W-I-S-E, but only half of the 10 were wise. So I put in the word half, and that comes up in the green, the letters H-A-L-F, and then oil comes up in the yellow. So it's interesting how the word oil goes through the word half, and it shares the letter L in half. So half of the 10 were the ones that had oil, and it also shares with this term right here, which is a holy, the holy seed. So it shares with the word holy because they had the Holy Spirit, but it also makes mention of the holy seed, which is basically what the entire Bible is about. It's about the 2 different seeds and which seed will prevail in the end, which of course we know which seed is going to prevail in the end, the seed of Christ. But that's what the entire Bible is about, and that's what it's going to come down to at the end, is a battle between the 2 seeds. But I just thought that was interesting how it it almost cuts the word half in half. And then you have the L right there sharing holy. So the oil, the holy oil, is what the wise virgins have. So I thought that was interesting. And then over here in the bluish purple you have the word pente. Over here in the pink you have the word wheat. The letters W, H, E, A, T. April is in the light red over here. Field is right here in the lavender. And then cost, which is the second part of the word Pentecost, is down here at the bottom. And of course I could just be relating to the word cost. I'm not sure. But in any case, the next one, in this next one I added the word Noah's Ark. And it's interesting how I think God gives little clues that helps us to search for words, because I saw those letters right there, which to me looked like Noah's Ark. So I tried that, and then sure enough Noah's Ark came up. So, and it comes up right where those letters were. So you see the word ark here in the fuchsia, the letters A, R, K. You see Noah over here in the green with the letters N, O, A, H. So it's meshed in with ark. And then this little term right here is right within it. And then I was thinking about the days, because this also looked like days of Noah, these letters right here. So I had put in days, or day. Actually it came up in the singular. Actually it looks like it would, I don't know. I was thinking that S might belong to it, but it doesn't. But the word days right here, the letters D, A, Y. And I'll go on to the next one. Okay, and this is before I knew this had anything to do with the prophecy about Mary, the Virgin Mary, and the birth of Jesus, which was called Emmanuel in this verse in Isaiah 7:14. It was before I knew anything about that, but I was trying to find other terms for virgin or virgins, and I had tried to put in maids, and it didn't come up in the plural, but it came up in the singular. And then I had tried to put in, since that came up, I thought I would put in handmaid. And so both of those terms came up. And then when I looked in the Bible to see when that term was used, I'll show you what comes up. Okay, that term was used just one time in the New Testament, and it was when Mary said, Behold, the handmaid of the Lord, be it unto me according to thy word, and the angel departed from her. So this is the term that Mary had used for herself, that she would do the Lord's will, and she called herself the handmaid of God. So it's interesting that handmaid, even though I did have to make it into two separate words, it came up in the table. And this was before I knew that this matrix goes on to talk about the Virgin Mary giving birth to Christ. So I thought that was really interesting. And it looks like I'm running out of time, so I'm going to continue in the next video. Thanks.